All right, everybody. Good afternoon and welcome on back. Continuing along our Tuesday afternoon here in the Cybergroup Trading Room, and of course, streaming across social media, Facebook and YouTube alike. Here with our afternoon meeting. Let's get a quick sound check just to begin. Make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. Let's see. I got to learn my lesson, guys. I just talked on social media, Facebook and YouTube, the intro for the first 30 or so seconds. I realized I'm not even talking to you guys here in the trading room. All right, I should be good to go now. I know I'm good to go on social media. For all of us here in the trading room, let's do a quick sound check. I tell you, that's why I got to ask that question every single time, guys. When I see that nobody's writing me back, I look right away at the microphone. I'm like, oh, that's not good. Let's turn the mic on there. Great to see everybody though. Daniel, Dennis, Bali, Mark, Jim, Gene, Jeff. Great to see you all. All of us in attendance here, as they should be. We've had a hell of a day today, though, at least. Although the markets have been dropping off going into the afternoon, we've done very well thus far, of course, from earlier on this morning. But, of course, right now, this afternoon as well, some stocks that we were expecting to make certain moves, but a couple that, of course, with news out, we were not really expecting. So to begin, the Dow, just to mention right now, is near the lows, right near 24,000. So obviously a very strong support. It was holding above that price over the last few days, holding under that price as resistance mostly last week. So, hey, if it ends up breaking below that line, guys, we might end up seeing a sharper drop heading into the afternoon, more of a red afternoon perhaps. So, keep that in mind for all of the stocks that we tend to kind of keep on our side lists, perhaps those that move with the market at a greater degree. If the markets end up moving faster, well, focus on those. I mean, the NCLH is out there. Really the cruise lines, the airlines, the gaming stocks like the casinos. So, we'll get to all of those in a moment, perhaps at the very end of this meeting, just, if there's any that you guys find, more interesting than another. But what I'd like to do really is right away go from the gainers list, not number one, but number two, NVAX up still 65+% heading into the afternoon right now. NVAX ended up big drop right now. I was going to say it was up more than 65+% or so. But we ended up seeing NVAX make a huge pop off of earnings yesterday after hours. And Fausto discussed that during the morning briefing with you guys here at least. But we ended up seeing NVAX shortly after the market opening up, built some support, but then ended up making this huge rally, squeezing up. It's almost similar to the move that we ended up seeing, like it was MGNX, right? If you guys remember MGNX, different companies, different news events that happened, but same volatile run up across the afternoon. So this NVAX trade, it was pretty crazy on the way up, just breaking above resistance that we had at 42 heading into the afternoon. Unfortunately, I don't know if news came out just now or if this is just natural sell-off, but obviously a big shake back down towards the next whole number support off of 40. Let me dip into Benzinga Pro right now, guys. I don't think news came out. News came out, I feel like NVAX would actually make a bigger move on the way down. But at 2:08 Eastern time, which is not now, this is a little after the fact, says NVAX analysts say whatever funding speaks volumes about coronavirus vaccine development. So, hey, we knew NVAX was a corona stock or, company in relation to coronavirus vaccine. So I posted that little news snippet in the chat board here for you guys in the trading room. That was from 2:08. I don't think that really made a big to-do. Of course, we knew, again, a lot of stuff going on with NVAX, and again, off their earnings, a big run-up from earlier. For right now, NVAX, we're going to put this easily on our watch list, just given the move up from after hours yesterday, from today at least. And, given that, keep in mind, guys, NVAX dropping back right now, but look next to the ticker. It doesn't say hard to borrow next to it, does it? It doesn't say HB in parentheses like a lot of these stocks are. So NVAX, we could look to short on the way down. I always like to say this, but if the stock craps out the other way, which we're seeing right now at least, it could present a pretty good short opportunity momentarily. So NVAX will add on our list just for either direction. Of course, just bounced off of 40. That will be the next major support level here on this trade for the afternoon. But we'll look to see otherwise, maybe in between this $2 range between 40 and 42. All right, so NVAX was one that we were expecting to a great degree. Like we had said, we are anticipating their earnings coming out. We went over this one coming out just recently in our Traders Talk workshop. The I&O trade, Novio Pharmaceuticals, we ended up seeing them report earnings also going into the after hours. But, they ended up making a pretty sharp move up. We ended up seeing them break above major resistance off of 12. It took a few times. We went over that in Traders Talk briefly. But, once this ended up re-clearing above that 12 level, $12 resistance, from there, it just really took off. So ended up being one of the stars across the morning, the I&O trade. And you know what? For right now, it still seems somewhat strong. It's holding off 1320. It is making a lower high as of now. But altogether, higher lows still. We'll look to see if this either, pulls back lower, which, to be transparent, I would expect a little bit more, perhaps down to 13 first. But otherwise, we'll look to see if this could reapproach major resistance, the high of the day off 1350. So I&O, NVAX, two ones that made big moves from earlier, two ones that will just re-add to the list. All right. Ben saying in the chat board, or he said just a moment ago, OSTK popping. That was one from earlier. So we did comment on OSTK actually from earlier this week. And here you are seeing this run up again. So OSTK, man, this thing hasn't really, I guess it's had one pullback across the day, one big pullback you could see from 20 down towards like sub 1950. Well, of course, squeezed back up and it's at the highs now heading into the afternoon. So I just wanted to look in the chat board. I saw that from Ben. Just wanted to come back to this. It was one I was going to mention quickly. But yeah, we'll add OSTK overstock to our list too. Guys, if you've been tuning into these meetings, whether it was myself or Fausto, and the more that you're in this trading room, the more that you'll become familiar with this. But we've been saying this for a bit, not as if it was swing trading recommendations or swing trading advice, just as far as acknowledging a former runner in the past. We've seen OSTK make some huge moves day over day, notably in September, going from 16 to 30, and then it just completely tanked afterwards, right? So this stock has some legs to move up day over day. And of course, just on a single day like this, we could look to day trade this going into the afternoon. So for right now, squeezing up beautifully. All right, so I guess what we'll do, we had a couple more I wanted to jump on briefly. A couple of the gaming stocks and then a couple of the other cheapies, but I see that you guys are calling them out here in the chat board already. So what we'll do is just go from top to bottom, really from gainers, losers, and see what else we can get. The CBay trade, CBAY. I took a small loss on this just a moment ago. I posted that in the chat board. I went short, and it might be right now at this point. Hasn't really squeezed too much upward since I got out, but I took a short at 433. I was expecting this to break lower at the time. It didn't. So I got out at 440. I think it was a 7-cent loss. And, ever since it hasn't done much of anything. But for right now, I mean, if this could end up breaking lower, 430, maybe we'll see this reapproach the whole number support low of the day, 402. It held very strong going into the early morning. And then otherwise, for the good news that came out on this trade, I was expecting more of a rally back up. So if this one ends up peaking its head over 450, maybe we'll see a sharper squeeze up higher going into the close. So CBay for right now, I'll at least kind of keep this on our list, maybe near the bottom, if anything. If we have a big list, guys, and I said this, I joked around about this in the chat board in our trading room earlier, but if we have a really big list going into the close, then I would have no problem just eliminating the CBay trade. It is very heavily traded at this point in the day. This stock normally trades about 2 million shares on average a day. We're looking at 81 million shares. So for the pre-market run up that this stock had, for the move earlier today, it's easily to be said that this stock has exhausted itself out. For right now, it'll make the cut, but if we have a big list, I'll just scratch this one off. NVAX already on. Just want to check back in on this, see what it's up to. 4150, 42, like I'd said, would be that major top, at least for right now. Ooh, EMAN. Not really a familiar name. Cheapy, though. Ended up already making a huge move across the day. My only concern is, how much higher do we expect this stock to go? $1 would be a really nice target. $1, shortly underneath that, maybe 97 cents. So, for right now, this will be on the side. I do like CBay above this if we're kind of just ranking these so far, one over another. VTIQW. This one I have to put on our list. If not this one, this is the warrants, right? And just regular old VTIQ. Let's go with that one. A little bit pricier. I mean, all three of these kind of have pretty poor volume on the order book, meaning very thin, scattered orders on the bid and the ask. Don't get me wrong, all three are flying. Kind of reminds me of Liberty TripAdvisor when we ended up seeing those stocks make those huge squeezes up. So what is it? VTIQU? Yeah, no, this one's definitely not on the list. VTIQW is the biggest percent gainer of them. I guess I'll put VTIQ on the list regular. I mean, I guess you could put both. VTIQW is cheaper. I feel like both kind of have the same lack of liquidity on the order book. Be careful on these trades, guys, heading into the afternoon. With the big spread that you see, you need to try and beat the spread, as we like to say. Try and buy off the bid, sell off the ask. Or if you end up trying to, buy a breakout, try and buy right off the level, off the pop. So try not to chase it at least. All right, let's see. We're going to try and cherry pick. I'm going to skip through my volume criteria right now and look at the price. There we go. BW, nice run up from earlier. Just wanted to check this one out pretty quickly from the move from the open, but not really doing too much now. All right, Grubhub. Let's skip ahead. Go to Grubhub here. Grubhub ended up coming out news midday, right? So this was one that we did not really expect, of course. We ended up seeing Grubhub and Uber post their earnings last week. Pretty surprising that news comes out this week. I don't know if there is any intent of, pushing back the news, unless if it was just finalized literally right now. But, news came out in relation to Grubhub, potential acquisition by Uber, I think just they reportedly sent in an offer, if I'm not mistaken. So buy the rumor, sell the news, right? Ended up seeing a big pop. Grubhub got halted at least. Now, Uber ended up squeezing up too. Oop, my phone just dropped. Uber ended up squeezing up too. I don't think this one got halted though, like Grubhub did, but huge pop, run up from that point too, from 31 up to 34.50. So right away, Grubhub and Lyft, or Grubhub and Uber, I'm going to put on our list both of them. I'll personally be more focused on Uber, just the cheaper of the two, and both are trading very heavy volume at this point in the day still. So 33 support looks like a great setup, at least right now in Uber. I don't mind looking at Lyft. Sympathy play, perhaps. Lyft moved up, pretty nicely off the pop, ran up afterwards with Uber. They're pulling back pretty sharply now. I guess we'll keep Lyft kind of on the side. Uber and Grubhub are good enough for right now. We also have, again, a bunch on our list already. NVAX, INO. Don't forget about CBay too. This one's pretty expensive, DDOG. So this one will make the list for the level 5 traders out there, for any of the traders here in our room that tend to follow the more expensive stocks. Easy to say, but this stock is breaking all-time highs, and with that, there's no historical ceiling to work with aside from just, level 3 and time and sales. So you could actually see, guys, look at this live on the tape. At $70, someone just unloaded shares off of 70. I mean, someone bought at 70. And then right away after, you could see a big shake back down, including a 27,000 share print here. One transaction right under that high. So pretty interesting to see the reaction afterwards here. But DDOG, I'll add to our list. It's more of a level 5 stock, also fairly expensive alongside Grubhub. So, if you don't tend to trade the expensive ones, just do yourself a favor. Scratch this off your list. Don't even let it be, a distraction to you heading into the afternoon. For our newly enrolled students here and any of our more inexperienced traders alike, I would rather you guys follow a stock like SIEN here. I hope that this stock just makes a very clean bounce and runs back up higher heading into the close. Just a great long opportunity. I'm going to put this stock on our list for a couple of reasons. Well, that's the first reason, like I just said. Secondly, though, for our new students and traders here, this one has a tight spread and a lot of volume on the order book to focus on, to look for the bigger icebergs for support resistance. You're not going to find that on a VTIQ. You're not going to find that on a DDOG unless if you read the tape quickly like I just did. The same thing with NVAX. NVAX is crazy right now at this point in the day. Well, I'll tell you, this SIEN made a phenomenal run up since the market opened up, ended up making a second breakout, something that we don't tend to see too often, off of 3. And, it's pulling back now. So I hope that this, long trade is not over with, that this can, kind of hold support again at some point here and move back up. But the last reason I'm going to put this on our list, well, in case if it doesn't, well, the stock also, alongside the alongside the CBay trade at least, is shortable, not hard to borrow. So if it craps out the other way, ends up, dropping below 3, holding 3 as resistance and pulling back lower, at least from this point, guys, we could try and short it. So SIEN looks like a great day trade across the entire day so far. All right, so I'm going to close out a position I'm in right now on my other computer. Just want to show you right now. It was one I was going to mention just before, but I just wanted to take the money and run really quick. It's not one that we've been talking about too much in the room even. I made the comment about it, about the big spike of volume right here, and you guys know how much I tend to focus on the tape. So CZR ended up just closing out a short position on this. They posted earnings this morning, I think also, or yesterday, I'm sorry. But, I wasn't really too focused on this, at least going into the morning. Huge 750,000 share spike. Big print on the tape. It was filled right at 1027. So I shorted right away from that point, or, well, shortly afterwards, once I realized it wasn't breaking higher. I set a tight stop above 1030, and I just closed out right here. CZR, I was hoping to see this make the list going into the afternoon. It's pulled back pretty nicely since 2 o'clock. So if not today, then perhaps some point tomorrow or, Friday or Thursday, Friday this week, perhaps. We'll check in on a couple of the other side list stocks right now as well before we hop over to losers. But so far, we have a pretty good list here already, guys. Penn National Gaming dropping off pretty nicely. Not up or down a whole lot, but very tradable stock, much like the rest of them. Question from Daniel: how would you see Caesars in the morning watching due to earnings? Yeah, I mean, we knew that Caesars was posting earnings in the after hours yesterday, so I wrote that down on my list this morning, or just on a list, this morning. I was flipping through, I found it. I had Benzinga Pro up also, Daniel, so I got alerted of the volume spike from Benzinga, so I just quickly turned over to it. MGM new lows. That's pretty interesting. Dropping off the market at least pretty nicely here. Check in on our cruise lines, our airlines at least. NCLH pretty choppy. It's down 4+%. Looks like it could have been a good shake this morning off of what would appear to be 1150 or 1160. UAL near the lows of the day. That could be a decent move going into the close. AAL also, it's hard to borrow. It's also a little slow. The stock has so much volume it has to cut through. So this has become more of like a level 1 to 2 stock for us here in the trading room. All right, so you know what? We'll come back to maybe a couple of these in a moment, guys. Let's hop over to the losers list. And then again, if there's anything else that you would want me to look at otherwise from the chat board here or across social media, let me know. I see a couple of comments on VTIQ, SIEN. We covered those already. But if there's anything else, guys, you would want me to look at, just type it in the chat board. ADES, not really doing too much. It's near the lows. It's shortable. Eventbrite, EEB. I scanned for this earlier. I was looking at this, at least breaking new lows down towards 8 at the time. Well, that appeared to have been near the end of the run on the way down. It squeezed up nicely off of 8, though, this afternoon. From 8 to 835, and you could see 850 holding as resistance. You know what? I mean, this one we'll keep on our side list for right now. We have a big, main watch list already. I'll come back to this at least just in the next minute or two, or next couple minutes. Fossil I was looking at, it's just so slow. I mean, shortable, nice trend down. All right. Maxer, MAXR. I say that because on my earnings calendar I have here on my wall, my home office, I had MAXR right under Caesars. So, doing my prep for the week. MAXR is a stock that we've traded not really too much on, more off than on, but off of news. You could at least see just the big gap that we had back in 2018. We called it out back then, likely. We squeezed up nicely here for a couple of days. We traded it. So this stock has just kind of come in passing. It's, on our losers list here this afternoon, just broke a new low, tight spread, shortable. All right, so you know what? This one makes our list here for right now, MAXR. See if this can end up dropping off nicely heading into the end of this day. Don't really see a big support so far on the TradeStation matrix. I do right now. Look at that. 10,000 plus shares was on the bid here at 10.25. All right, so it's at support right now, I reckon. All right, so you know what? I think that might just about do it. Got a couple of other stocks here. Is Z kind of expensive? Oof, look at this, though. This thing's tailing off beautifully. And so much so, it should be at a huge support level at 50 bucks. I say should because there isn't really much volume filled at 50. Like 1,000 share print on the tape there. I mean, you're seeing a ton of refreshing off of 50 and 50.01. It's an expensive one, but you know what? I mean, it's down big, new lows at what would appear to be a big support at 50. So this Zillow trade, yeah, I'll add this to our list late edition. All right, guys. So let me know if there's anything else that you would want me to look at. I guess I'll run a quick scan here, and that will do it. Got a lot of catching up to do in our trading room. So let me see here. From Ben SDC worth watching. We were looking at that at the end of the day yesterday and this morning in pre-market. So this was dropping off pretty nicely. For many of us, I don't think we were able to short this. You know, it is bouncing up nicely for right now. If you were in off the bottoms, you're doing pretty good. But for right now, I'm not going to add this to the list. You know I love SDC, though. From Jim, we have UNFI. Yeah, UNFI, I think I skipped over Jim. I don't know if I just brushed over this. On Benzinga, I remember I got alerted for UNFI earlier at some point. It was, trending up at the time, and obviously took off much higher. I mean, it's shaking back down now, but it's kind of similar to like Overstock and that VTIQ trade, just where it's hard to deny watching a trend like this. So UNFI, yeah, this one will make our cut. All right, and then last one from Gene, and I saw from Ben before too. Gene C is doing pretty good the last couple of days. Another profit from him. He picked up 9 cents on Chewy, in and out quick. Yeah, Chewy's high of the day. Got a lot of these expensive ones that are moving up pretty nicely so far this afternoon. Kind of against the grain, so to say, too. I mean, market's been dropping off so far this afternoon. Take one more look back at the Dow. Dow squeezed up from where we were watching it, but again, 24,000, big support level, guys. It's about 36 points away from that price going into the afternoon thus far. All right, and you know what, Jim? UNFI popped up on my scan right here once I ran it. So very good call. UNFI, VTIQW, a couple of these. Let's check in quick. Stitch Fix. Ooh, I like this one. This one has less of a spread, more volume on the book to cut through. It's not up as much as some of the others that are pretty crazy so far, and it's cheaper. Oh, this SFIX. Here you go, guys. I told you we'd have a 30 stock watch list this afternoon. I was joking around about that in our chat board. It's not 30, but it's pretty big. And space, not too much to write home about there. Oh, so last one, actually, I reckon. Speaking of home, and honestly, no pun intended here, I wanted to look at HOME. Speaking of which, it pulled back. It was up a lot from earlier. It popped from basically 250 to 310 all the way through. Has a big range just across the daily chart, even across just summer of last year, summer of 2019, a gap down from like 17, 18 bucks all the way down to where it dropped off from, going back into like March time, breaking all-time lows. So this home trade, you know what? I think I might do what I was going to do earlier. And I told you guys this. I was going to scratch CBay off and add another one if it was going to be too big of a list. CBay is a drop, and look at this. Now I'm getting my short opportunity. I didn't have my order set on this trade, but now I'm getting what I wanted from before. Okay, so let me see. I'll do one more tally. I don't want to make this list too big. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. All right, we'll keep CBay on. We'll add home. We'll keep it at 14 stocks, as if that's not big enough. And that will do it, guys. So listen, for all of our newly enrolled students, all of our trial members even, I wouldn't want you to focus on one of these crazy ones going into the afternoon. Well, they all seem to be kind of crazy to a degree, but try and focus on a stock that has a tighter spread. Something here like CBay even. I mean, hey, this one is still on our list. If you could short, it looks like a pretty nice setup off that 430 breakthrough. So, for right now, this seems like a really nice level 2-ish trade heading into the afternoon. You got the home trade that I just put on the list as well. That seems to be a pretty nice opportunity. You still have I&O. I&O, is one of our best trades across the whole day today. And that stock had a pretty tight spread for what it's worth. A lot of volume on the book, at least there. So this seems to be a better trade to follow as a newly enrolled student compared to one of those crazy ones like the UNFI or maybe that Zillow trade, perhaps even. That NVAX trade and Grubhub included. All right, guys, so there is a lot to choose from across the board just in terms of volatility, also in terms of price range too. So for right now, guys, I'll post and tweet the picks to all of us here in the chat board and across social media. For anyone on social media looking to learn more about what we offer here at Cyber Trading University, whether that be this online trading room here that we were just referencing or just our classroom here that we tend to do every month. We tend to host live classes once per month here. Make sure that you call the number down below on the banner, and then from that point, one of our education advisors will pick up and provide more information. All right, guys, for all of us here in the trading room, we have a pretty wild afternoon to close up here. So let's try and work together as a team, be selective, and let's try and make some money together going into the end of this Tuesday. Take care.